Welcome to a special bonus episode of the post-project world. After releasing the 5 case study episodes, several of you reached out asking for a recap. Something that ties together what we learned from Netflix, Spotify, Haier, GitHub, and Tesla and SpaceX. Something that makes the common patterns clear. This episode is my response to that request. Thank you for the feedback. Your input shapes this podcast. Over the past 5 episodes, we examined 5 organizations: Netflix, Spotify, Haier, GitHub, Tesla, and SpaceX. 5 radically different organizations, different industries, different cultures, different geographies, different scales, but they all point in the same direction. Away from traditional project management towards something else. Let me quickly recap what each organization taught us. Netflix showed us that context replaces control. When you share strategy widely and give people access to data, they do not need project managers to tell them what to do. They can figure it out themselves. Netflix eliminated project managers not through chaos, but through radical transparency. Every strategy memo, every decision rationale, every performance metric, all visible to everyone who needs it. The lesson: information architecture can replace coordination hierarchy. Spotify showed us that autonomy requires architecture. Squads do not just magically self-organize. They work because Spotify designed the organizational structure to enable autonomy. Clear missions, end-to-end ownership, minimal dependencies. The squad model is not about reorganizing teams into groups of 6 to 8 people. It is about designing organizational interfaces that minimize coordination overhead. The lesson: structure enables autonomy, or prevents it. Haier showed us what happens when you eliminate middle management entirely. 10,000 middle managers removed, replaced by 4,000 microenterprises that compete for customers and resources. Market mechanisms instead of hierarchical coordination. Haier is the most radical experiment in modern organizational design. And it works. They are the world's largest appliance manufacturer. The lesson: markets can coordinate better than managers if you design them right. GitHub showed us that platforms can be coordinators. Issues track work. Pull requests manage contributions. Automated testing ensures quality. Documentation provides context. The platform handles everything a project manager used to handle. Tracking what is being worked on. Managing dependencies. Resolving conflicts. Ensuring standards. Linux, one of the most complex software systems ever built, is maintained by thousands of contributors with no centralized project management. The lesson: when you build coordination into the platform, you do not need humans to coordinate. Tesla and SpaceX showed us that mission can be the coordinator. Make humanity multiplanetary. Accelerate sustainable energy. These are not vague vision statements. They are operational directives that guide thousands of daily decisions. When everyone understands the mission with crystal clarity, they do not need project managers to tell them what is important. They can see for themselves. The lesson: alignment through purpose reduces the need for alignment through process. 5 organizations, 5 different approaches. But when you look across them, 5 common patterns emerge. Pattern 1: autonomous units. All 5 organizations structure work around stable, empowered teams rather than temporary projects. Netflix has autonomous product teams. Spotify has squads. Haier has microenterprises. GitHub has maintainers. Tesla and SpaceX have mission-aligned teams. These are not temporary project teams that dissolve when the work is done. They are permanent organizational units with ongoing responsibility, and they are truly autonomous. They have the authority and capability to make decisions without escalating. They control their own interfaces with other teams. Traditional project management assumes temporary teams assembled for specific initiatives. These organizations flip that assumption. Work happens in stable teams pursuing continuous outcomes. Pattern 2. Transparent information. In every one of these organizations, data about strategy, performance, and operations is widely shared. Netflix shares context extensively. Spotify makes squad missions and metrics visible. GitHub makes everything open by default. Haier posts performance of every microenterprise on internal platforms. Traditional project management exists partly because information is siloed. Project managers gather updates and share status because people do not have direct visibility. When information is transparent, you do not need human intermediaries to transmit it. People can see for themselves. Pattern 3. Clear context. Every organization needs people to understand what they are optimizing for. These organizations achieve this through different mechanisms, but they all achieve it. Netflix does it through explicit values. Freedom and responsibility. Context, not control. These are not slogans, they are decision-making frameworks. Haier does it through market mechanisms. When you run a microenterprise that competes for customers, you know what you are optimizing for. Spotify does it through squad missions. GitHub through documentation. Tesla and SpaceX through audacious, crystal clear missions. When context is clear, people can make aligned decisions without needing someone to tell them what is important. They can see for themselves. Pattern 4. Platform-enabled coordination. All 5 organizations use technology to handle routine coordination that traditionally required human intermediaries. Netflix has data platforms that make context visible without status meetings. Spotify's engineering systems track dependencies and manage deployments. Haier's digital platform handles internal contracts and performance tracking. GitHub is entirely platform-based. Even Tesla and SpaceX use sophisticated software systems to coordinate manufacturing and operations. Technology handles what is routine and rule-based, tracking status, managing workflows, ensuring quality, providing visibility. This frees humans to handle what machines cannot: judgment, creativity, ethics, meaning. Pattern 5. Trust. These organizations trust their people to make good decisions. Rather than controlling through process, they guide through context and culture. Netflix hires adults and treats them like adults. No vacation policy, no expense policy. Trust people to act in Netflix's interest. Spotify trusts squads to figure out how to achieve their mission. Haier trusts micro-enterprises to operate as real businesses. GitHub trusts maintainers to manage their projects. This trust is not naive. It is built on transparency and accountability. When everything is visible and everyone is accountable for outcomes, trust becomes practical. Traditional project management often embeds this trust into process. Status meetings exist partly to check that people are working. Approval workflows exist partly because we do not trust people to make the right call. These organizations flip the assumption. Start with trust. Build systems that make trust viable. Remove people who violate it. These 5 patterns are not nice-to-have cultural attributes. They are architectural choices. Decisions about how to structure work, how to flow information, how to enable decision-making, how to design human relationships. And they enable a fundamentally different way of operating. One where coordination happens through system design rather than human intermediaries. Now, the obvious question. Can these patterns be replicated? These are exceptional organizations. Can normal companies do this? Yes and no. Yes, the principles can be replicated. Autonomous units, transparent information, clear context, platform-enabled coordination, and trust. These are choices any organization can make. They do not require genius leadership or unicorn employees. They require willingness to redesign how work gets done. No, the specific implementations cannot be directly copied. Netflix's model emerged from its specific history and culture. Hire's Rendenhei reflects Chinese business practices. Spotify's model has been famously misapplied by organizations that copied the structure without understanding the culture. The lesson is not to imitate these organizations. It is to understand the principles they embody and find your own way to apply them. A bank will not organize like a streaming company. A hospital will not organize like a rocket manufacturer. But the underlying shift from coordination through hierarchy to coordination through system design is universal. We are approaching a tipping point. For decades, traditional project management was the default, the safe choice, the professional standard. Organizations that tried something different were exceptions that proved the rule. That is changing. As more organizations demonstrate that autonomous models outperform coordinated ones, the calculus shifts. The risk is not trying something new. It is failing to adapt while competitors transform. The case studies we have explored are not anomalies. They are the leading edge of a wave that will transform how work gets done. The evidence is already here. The only question is whether you will learn from it. That wraps up this bonus episode. If you are just joining us, go back and listen to the 5 case study episodes. Episodes 1.3 through 1.7. Each organization has lessons worth exploring in depth. And if you have been following along, thank you. We will continue Season 1 with the next episodes, where we will explore the historical context and examine why even Agile is not sufficient for where we are going. Until then, keep questioning whether all that coordination overhead is actually necessary. Because increasingly, it is not.